Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. For those who are watching again, and for the new guys, thank you. And yeah, thank you so much for the support of the first video. I was actually really surprised, and I'm really grateful. So let's take this to another level. And if you've not subscribed, this is a kind reminder to subscribe. Today we're gonna be talking about how personally I purchase wine, from getting into the store to how I come and wind down, because why not, right? Yeah, so it's very easy for me actually, and I'd say most of the knowledge I have for wine right now, it's been self-taught, like out of a very long time of just trying to figure out what works for me. And if you're a newbie, I'd say when you're starting out, the things like, for instance, I used to use, and I still use an app to know the rating of the wine, and I tried very many grapes before I found what really works for me. Yeah, so by default, the way someone asks whether you're a red, white wine person, I'm always saying it actually depends on the mood, to be honest. And yeah, so I'm in and out of red, then I go to white, and when it's very hot, like just December and this January, I've been into the rosé, because you drink it dry, cold, and it's just refreshing. It's like a very good option from a cider. Yeah, so generally I'll just see how I walk into a store. I usually browse, and I'm always attracted to a very subtle packaging. Like even before I look at the brand, I look at the type of the packaging, and the next thing, if I'm into red, like today I was vibing red wine. Yeah. So I go to the red wine section. I love Chandarana because it's very organized. You start with it's based on the wine type of wine. So I walk into the red wine, and the first thing, I love the subtle packaging because it tells me it's an old world wine, for instance, but it's not guaranteed. So the next thing I look is the type of grape, and today I went with Merlot. In another video, we're gonna discuss about the types of grape, the types of wine, and even how wine is made. This is generally a video just to show you how I purchase wine. If you're a new beginner, very easy steps, and you get yourself a good wine at an affordable price. Yeah, so Merlot is very one of the most famous red wines. It's very mellow, let me say that. It's very subtle, sensual, like the flavors are very smooth compared to, let's say, a Cab Sauv. And it's quite famous, to be honest, if you're a newbie, and it's dry wine. I know here in Kenya we're used to really sweet wine, but the more you grow your palate, you'd start appreciating dry wine. So I picked a Merlot, and the next thing I look, after looking at the grape, I look at the region, and it's written down here. It's coming from France. This is a Merlot from France, and also again, that's an old world wine. I'll discuss about the type of either old world wines or new world wines. Yeah. So, and then after that, if it has a vintage, that is the year the grape was harvested. For instance, this was in 2018, and that's the year the grape was harvested. And yeah, and before I decide that's the wine for me, there's an app called Vino. I'll put a shot, you'll just see how it's my purchase journey ideally. So it guides you. Just take a photo of the label. It tells you everything, the tasting notes of the wine and the rating. So it's always out of 5, and I pick anything above 3.5. So it actually works. As a beginner, that is the secret to the world of wines. I guarantee you will start enjoying. And I'd say price range, to be honest, expensive wine doesn't mean it's good wine. So I work with between 1,000 to 1,300 for standard wine. I consider that standard wine. And if you want to spend more money, 1,700, now you start taking now the premium wines. Yeah. And yeah, so you notice the first thing, if I'm doing a red wine, when I come back from shopping, or if I have a bottle in the house already, I will decant that bottle either 30 minutes to about 1 hour before I settle down and wind down. Yeah, so this is a decanter. I put it in for about 30 minutes, depending how you want it. And the reason why we put red wine, specifically red wine, into a decanter, is to open up the wine. Because red wine, you talk about the body, you talk about the flavor, the color, and the nose. The nose is the aromas that come from the wine, and you can only appreciate the nose after you decant it. So you decant it and swirl just to open up the wine and let it sit. And once you're ready to wind down, like now, you wind down, because wine not, yeah. Very plummy, and very oaky. Yeah, so that's it for today. So stay tuned for the next video. We're gonna discuss how red wine is made, or rather how wine is made in general, the difference between the red wine, the white wine, and the new wine world, which is the rosé, which is highly debatable whether it's wine or not. But anyway, stay tuned.
Oh shit, it was not recording.
Don't do that.